Hello guys, I am FastAnne, I stream a lot of Rainbow Six Siege, and today I'm going to show you guys my go-to Valk camera positions. I'm going to take you to 4 different maps, a couple different objectives, and in this video I will show you how to throw the cams, what you can see on the cameras, and what the camera looks like for an enemy that's passing by. The first set of cams is on the map Oregon, for the upstairs Kids Dorms objective. I throw one camera on the top of White Stairs. The second cam is towards attic. I throw it on the top of this wall here. And the final cam for this set is out of the game's window. I line it up on the white wall outside and then line it up to the top of the roof on the right side. On this outside cam, you can see enemies from street spawn towards small tower. You can also see enemies outside of big window. This is what the cam looks like for enemies. As you can see, it's quite obvious, but I've noticed that people tend to walk past it. The next cam, on top white, is the same story. Quite obvious, but nobody looks in that direction as they walk up the white stairs. The last cam at attic is a bit harder to spot out, but I haven't seen any enemies look up at that wall to spot out the camera. You can see enemies as they go through attic breach, you can see them in attic window and behind the stage. I have one alternative for the outside camera. For this one, you have to be crouched in the middle of game's window. Line the cam up on the left side of the antenna and throw it. The cam will end up in a tree, which makes it a bit hard to spot enemies, but for enemies, it's also harder to find that camera. I have another set of cams on Oregon for the kitchen dining objective. First cam is in small tower, one cam goes in dining, and the final cam goes outside of the games room on the outside wall. This gives you a view towards small tower. The first cam gives you a view all over small tower. Most of these cams are focused on small tower, because this is usually where the attackers come from if they want to push kitchen or dining. The second one in dining, with some parts of kitchen and wide hallway as well. The final cam gives you a broad view from outside lobby all the way to small tower. Those are my go-to Valcam spots for Oregon. Time to move on to a different map. On the second map, Border, I have a set of cams for the upstairs Armory Archives objective. One of the cams goes underneath this sink, which you need to be prone for. It's a really nice spot to hide the camera. The second one goes in the office skylight. Just throw it wherever, it doesn't really matter. The final camera is in CCTV. I usually stand against the shelves and then throw it on the circle where the TVs are attached to. I find that enemies don't really spot this camera, and if they do, there's an alternative to hide one underneath the desk at the TVs. The cam underneath the sink isn't easy to spot out. You need to see a big part of the objective.
Bomb has been located.
The office cam is easier to spot, but enemies don't really look up there as they're walking towards the objective with the camera on their backs. You can see enemies all the way into fountain. An alternative for the sink camera is to throw the camera up here. You can still see a big part of the objective and into small box, but it's in a different spot and enemies have to find it again. I also have a set of cameras that you can use for any downstairs objective. The first one goes up here in the lobby, which gives you a view from tellers to customs and towards the main stairs. I hide the second camera in a speaker in waiting room. I throw this camera on the top part of the speaker, it lands in the speaker, and it's nearly invisible there. And a final camera goes above the main door. It sounds a bit weird, but enemies don't really look there if they walk past the main door. The lobby cam gives you a broad view all the way from metal stairs towards passports and a little bit of the teller's hallway as well. The waiting room cam gives you a great view from passports to tellers and also on the hallway above. Those were my cam spots for Border, and after showing this perfect hit, we're going to another map. On Coastline, I have a set of cameras that you can use for both upstairs objectives. I usually throw one cam on a ceiling in Penthouse, which sounds weird, but the wooden beam kind of blocks enemies from spotting it if they're in Bathroom or Hall of Fame. The second cam goes in the top right of these boxes on top white stairs. And for the last camera, I go prone in VIP to throw it underneath the DJ table. The top white cam gives you a broad view, and if an enemy goes up the white stairs, they can spot the camera, but spotting the camera from luggage is a lot harder. The VIP cam goes from 90 hallway all the way towards Hall of Fame or VIP window, but it's hard to spot out for enemies. Same goes for the Penthouse cam, as enemies don't really look up there when moving through Penthouse. An alternative to the Penthouse cam is to hide the camera in the roof at Hall of Fame. If enemies are moving from VIP to Hall of Fame, they can't spot the camera. An alternative to the White Stairs cam is to hide it in the roof towards the 90 hallway. This one's quite hard to spot for enemies. Another way to use these Val cams is if you've had enough of your billiards enemy. On to the next and the final map we go. On our final map, Club House, I have a set of cameras for the downstairs church arsenal objective. I throw one of the cams in the fridge in lounge. You can throw it in the different shelves, doesn't really matter. You can also use this cam when defending upstairs and CCTV cache. You can see if enemies are underneath and if they're trying to get rid of the electrifying things on the CC wall. The second camera goes in the top part of the main stairs, where enemies don't really look as they move down the stairs. The final cam goes in the fridge of church, giving you a view into church and blue when there is a rotation. To spot out the fridge cams, you really have to pay attention as the general area around it is quite bright. An alternative to the fridge cam in church is to throw the camera in the jukebox. You have to break the glass first and then you can hide it in the jukebox. This gives you a view all the way to the default plan spot behind the black boxes. Those are my go-to Val cams. Let me know in the comments down below which cam you are going to use in your next Siege game. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!